Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The Scottish Premiership season has kicked off. Celtic are top of the table, but it's a brand new week at Celtic Football Club and work still needs to be done with just shy of 4 weeks. Coming up 3 weeks left in this transfer window. Celtic need to get to work. Key players have left. One is yet to leave, but about to, which means Celtic need to get their arse in gear, quite frankly. If you haven't already, make sure to hit like and subscribe. We are around 700 subscribers away from the big 40,000, so it's right down below. It's absolutely free. Make sure to smash both those buttons. It would be appreciated. But let's talk about Celtic. It's imminent. The announcement of Carl Starfelt's departure will be with us very, very soon. Celta Vigo seems to be the destination for our Swedish centre-half. 2 years of great service, but it's about to come to an end. And Celtic needs to go and replace a key player. That's ultimately it. You know, you can't let someone of Carl Starfelt's quality leave the club without bringing in another replacement. Yes, we've signed Mike Nawrowski. Very happy with that, but depth is needed. You know, we need to go and replace the numbers that Starfelt gave us last season. That should be a priority for Brendan Rodgers. He's already spoke about his desire to sign a centre-half. We're going to cover that today. But yeah, Celtic need to get to work with the last few weeks in this transfer window. Here is our transfer business so far this window. It's been an entertaining window, to say the least. We have made signings, a few of them probably more project signings than current quality that we maybe need to go and challenge in Europe. But there you go, we've spent around 15 million euros in this transfer window, and with Carl Starfelt's departure to be rumoured around 4 or 5 million, we've brought in around 35 million euros. So we're 20 million up on the net spend, and Celtic now need to use that wisely to go and make some signings, because the squad situation right now, to be quite honest with you, maybe isn't exactly where I wanted it to be heading into a very exciting Champions League campaign, one that we've been very ambitious for. Here's our squad depth situation right now. That's it there on screen, alongside the Champions League registration requirements. We have 28 players. Only 25 can be registered for the Champions League this season. And you've got to remember, that's including the fact that we probably want to sign 2 or 3 more players this window. So suddenly you're talking about a squad that could be 30, 31 players strong. You need to cut that down to 25. But this is it on screen right now. For the Champions League, you need to have 8 locally trained players. Players that have been trained at Scottish clubs. We have that fulfilled. We have 8 players between players trained at Celtic, and then, you know, your Turnbulls and Taylors who were trained at Motherwell, Kilmarnock, etc. But that's the depth situation right now. I think that Celtic are still a number of players away from fulfilling those Brendan Rodgers European ambitions. We're a bit light in areas. I think that we just don't have, you know, the needed quality in areas. We require a few names now to try and take this squad to the next level. For example, you look down that left-hand side, I think we're very light. There has been murmurs, there's been rumours that Haksabanovic could be on his way out this summer. Bernabei and Taylor being the only left-back options aren't exactly great. And now with Starfelt leaving the club, if you look at the centre-halves there, for me, we need more quality. You're looking at a possibility if, in some horrible situation, all 4 of our first-choice defenders got injured. You're looking at a back 4 that could be Ralston, Welsh, Scales and Bernabei. That, even for domestic football, worries me. This is a squad which is fine, more than fine for domestic football. You will win trophies with this. You will win league titles with this. But if we really want to be serious about taking it to the next step in Europe, we need to sign in different areas, and we're going to talk about that today. Let me just get one thing straight. I'm happy with the squad. I'm not concerned or worried or suddenly wetting the bed. You know, I think that we've got a squad that is, you know, we've lost a couple of big players from last season, but we've already signed Starfelt's replacement. We need to go in and maybe replace Jota now as well. But I'm happy with where we are. I just want us to see more ambition and around the transfer market. I want to see us make that statement that we're ready to go and challenge in Europe. I don't know if necessarily the players that we've signed so far are those kind of players. So yeah, we're going to talk about what we need today, because there are areas where we do need to improve in these next 3 weeks. Let's start from the back. Goalkeeper. We do need one. Celtic need to be serious now. We spoke about this post-match against Ross County after Joe Hart made a couple of errors. I love Joe Hart so much. You know my opinions on him. But we need a keeper. Celtic need to be serious. They need to get into the market and find one. That's just the reality of where we're at. Joe Hart has been a magnificent servant and can serve well as a number 2. But if we want to challenge further, those errors that do pop up every now and then, they need to be rectified. That's quite simple. I know that so many people are still commenting on my videos about Livakovic and his situation and whether or not Celtic should go in and try and make that happen. Realistically, I don't think that's going to happen, but it doesn't mean Celtic should stop their pursuit of trying to sign a keeper of significant quality like Livakovic. It's not easy to come by one. The transfer fees are obviously a major stumbling block when it comes to Celtic trying to find a player of that quality. But we need to go out and find one, because even if we don't get one now, as the weeks go by and the months go on and we approach next season, we're going to need one anyway. So Celtic should go into the market. They should try and find one now, because there's got to be a few that's been spoke about in-house. The scouting team, the recruitment department, they've surely looked at options. And I love Joe with all my heart, but there's too many moments in games now where you're sitting there on the edge of your seat thinking that he's going to give the ball away, that he's going to make a blunder. And that's not going to do it for us in European competition. A goalkeeper's got to be higher on the priorities. We need another centre-half. That's easy. That's got to be a position that we prioritise now with Carl Starfelt leaving the club. We were in a really good position before the news broke on Saturday that he would leave. Having Cameron Carter-Vickers, Mike Nawrocki, and Carl Starfelt was a very ideal situation. We had 3 really good centre-halves that we could rotate between, that we had to swap in and out should fitness issues or injuries occur. We don't have that luxury now. Who's the backup options? Scales, Kobayashi and Stephen Welsh. None of those 3 are good enough to be considered consistent options for Celtic. And we can't be naive about things. We can't sit and go, oh, maybe Scales will be a player. Maybe Kobayashi will come good. No, we need to act on it. We need to spend money that we're bringing in for Carl Starfelt on a centre-half, and it needs to be done, you know, before this window shut, obviously, but pretty soon, I would say, so that we can get players in settled and we can figure out what our best centre-half partnership is. It's most likely going to be Vickers and Nawrocki, but if we can bring in someone else and create a conversation, competition for places is healthy, and that needs to happen now. But Yamba still hasn't left Holland yet. Maybe that's where Celtic will go. There was rumours of him getting a 1.7 to £2 million move. That's money Celtic can easily spend. Should he be the priority? Make it a priority, make it happen. But we need to be back in that situation where we're talking about 3 centre-halves to come into the club. Not come into the club, play for the club. 3 to play for the club. We need a fullback. We do. Now, left or right hand side would be ideal coming in to the team before the end of the transfer window. I mean, you could say ideally both, but you've got to play it realistic here and say, well, if all of these positions that we're talking about today need to be touched on, are Celtic going to go and sign both a left and a right back? I don't quite know about that. We need a full back though. Ideally one that's versatile enough to maybe play on both sides, if there's one there that's available that's good enough. But we need full backs. Ralston is not good enough. I know that he's got a little kind of legion of fans who love him, and because he's a Celtic lad and Scottish and born and bred in the club, that yeah, blah blah blah, and he had that one great season under Ange, but the standards have slipped for him, and Celtic need to aim bigger and better. Now I really like Ralston. I'm not saying get rid of him, he doesn't deserve to play for us, anything like that. He's still got a part to play, but if we want to be serious about things, when Johnson's out, Ralston shouldn't be the option. He shouldn't be the first choice right back when Johnson's not here. I think that we need someone on that side, and then on the left side as well, Bernabe's not the guy. Right, and Taylor is someone who I really like, but we can definitely improve on as well. So we shouldn't really settle with players who we're like, yeah, they're good enough. No, we should be creating conversations. We should be putting competition in place for positions in this squad. Someone can be better than Greg Taylor, but you know the bare minimum is what we need is someone who's better than Bernabe. So if Taylor drops out, we've got another left back, because Bernabei's not going to cut it. Now, I know people are impressed from bits and bobs they've seen in pre-season, but come on, guys. Let's be real. It's like, for every good thing he does, there's like 20 misplaced passes. He's not got a defensive bone in his body. He wants to bomb forward. He doesn't want to defend. We need players who are going to make the grade in European competition, most importantly, and that's just not going to be Bernabei. We need fullbacks. We need options to fall back on that aren't Ralston, that aren't Bernabei. Simply put. And finally, for my video and for my opinions, the fourth position that we need to touch, we're talking about a window here where we need to make 3 or 4 more signings before it's shut. I'd be happy with that, but then obviously you've got to get the outgoings worked on as well. You've got to make sure people are leaving the club so that there's place in the registration for them. But a winger, and more importantly, a left winger, it needs to be done. Dyson Maeda is fantastic. He's first choice at the minute. And I love Sead Haksabanovic, but if there is rumours about him going, if his agent is maybe sounding out moves for him, which I'm kind of gutted about, but fine, it happens, we need another winger. It just feels like we are maybe that star player short at the minute with Jota leaving. And I've been happy with, Telio coming in and Yang coming in. These are players that I'm excited to see develop at Celtic, and obviously we've not seen Telio yet. I like what I've seen of Yang so far, but Jota was a kind of star player, wasn't he? And I think that as the weeks have went on, I wasn't too bothered. Maybe 2 weeks ago, I was like, no, I'm happy with the wingers we've got. But now that I'm looking at the squad on paper, and if I put the squad depth thing back up, I'm like, I feel like we're still just a quality winger short. And Celtic need to go and sound out a quality winger. Versatility would be nice. Someone similar to Jota who can play both left and right wing, but prioritise the fact that they can play on that left-hand side. I feel like that we need that kind of... I don't want to use the phrase marquee signing. I don't expect Celtic to go and spend 10 or 15 million pounds, and Rodgers has already said he doesn't need to do that. But I think that you need someone who's going to come in and make you go, wow, right, okay, and you need to see it from the minute a ball is kicked. We need a player with flair. But not just flair. The end game, the technical end game. Somebody who can shoot, finish, pass, dribble. We need all of those traits. Someone who's going to cause problems to fullbacks in Europe. And there's definitely options out there on that Celtic recruitment list. You know there is. There's no denying it that they will have found people. There will be people who could consider. But they need to get it done. We need players that are going to cause problems. And a lot of people, just to add on a side note, are saying that we still need another central midfielder as well. Now, I'm not as bothered if we sign another one or not. I think one of the main issues is the fact that a couple of them are going to be away post-Christmas. With the Asian Cup on, you're going to see Hatate go away over to Japan to play there if he gets called up, which he will. You're going to see, a couple of the new boys as well. Tomoki, he'll be away. Kwon will be away. We're going to be a bit light in the central midfield department when January comes along. So a lot of people are like, okay, we need another one of those. I'm not as bothered because I know we've still got quality there. And the likes of O'Reilly, Thiago Holm, McGregor, Turnbull. We still have enough names, I think, to see us through a domestic section of football. But I can see the reason in the conversation for why people still want another central midfielder maybe to be on the shopping list. I'm not asking for much, am I? And listen, if the transfer window was to slam shut tomorrow with what we've done so far and what we have so far, my biggest concern would be not replacing Starfelt, because I think we need another centre half. Like, I wouldn't be concerned with the window shutting tomorrow. I would just be disappointed because I don't think we're in a position to challenge for Europe. I know that we have a side that's good enough to go and win another treble, absolutely. But we need to go and make big signings. We do. We need to make ones that are going to actually make a difference for these big games against, you're potentially talking about playing Manchester City's, Real Madrid's, Bayern Munich's. These are sides that require better than what we have right now. So the shopping list, a goalkeeper, a centre-half, a full-back, a left winger. If we could do that, I'd be buzzing. Granted, I don't know how we're going to fit them all in, depending who moves out and such, but we need to do it. So that about does it for today's video. It's going to be a very divisive one in the comments. I know that. A lot of people happier than others, more people scared than others. Listen, I can't stress the message enough. This side is more than good enough domestically. We will challenge for another treble this season. But I can understand why some people have their kind of reservations about what we might be able to do and what the ceiling is for Celtic this season. But trust the man in charge. Trust the recruitment team to do something as well. Get the squad sorted for Europe. And just make some more signings. 3-4 weeks to go. Do the thing. Right, like and subscribe. I'll see you all next time.